the group continued their violent trials, and after they defeated Team Rook in even footing, it seems that the next trial might be slightly more difficult. I am the Ethernaut, and welcome to the Etherlog, the key to Vidra. Welcome back, everybody, to the Etherlog, the key to Vidra. My name is Sam Comerford, I am the Ethernaut, and with me, as always, is the excellent cast of players. And they're all about to get their asses kicked. Sorry, guys, I hate to break it to you, but
We're level 2, Samuel.
And I am evil. Get ready for another rip-roaring session of... I don't think you guys are going to be playing cards mid-battle for this one.
Watch me.
Not with that attitude.
You can certainly try. Go Fish gets knocked into the ceiling. But
How do I become the captain so I can beat up a bunch of people that have already gone through 2 rounds of battle at level 2?
You gotta work your way up. You gotta grind. That's the only way to the top, baby. Speaking of the top, you guys all see Kala Highwatch, who is this hulking, I believe we say 9 or 10 feet tall Minotaur woman, standing amidst the 8 of you. And she sort of levels her massive hammer at all of you, and sort of gets into a battle stance. Roll initiative.
At 9 feet tall, I think that officially makes her a macrotar.
Oh boy.
Oh my god. Take all the psychic damage. You
Or a
bastard.
maxitar. A maxitar?
Oh, yeah, because
Versus
mini
Zatar,
tar,
I think. Yeah.
mini to max. Yeah.
That sounds like a tampon.
Oh, actually, I did play a game where there was a mini tar monster, and then the upgraded version was, I think, mega tar.
Oh, I like that.
That's from Monster Sanctuary. For I don't know if that's gonna make it in. That's a fun game. I like that one.
So 25 to 20.
21.
22.
Ooh,
Nice.
my goodness.
Yeah.
We be ready.
We be ready.
Ready.
15 to 20.
19.
My goodness. What'd you get, Lex?
13, which
Oh,
is
wow.
the equivalent of a 19 for most other characters. I feel like.
When you're playing cards, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a -1 to initiative, so I'm not going first ever, but you know.
We've got the initiative. So, to start us off, Drake Shatterhand. You see that Kala Highwatch looks to be in a battle stance, but she seems to be just kind of waiting for you guys to make the first move. What do you do?
Drake has read a lot of, how to crush your interview and see it driven before you. So he knows that, you always wait for the other person to go first. So he's going to kind of shimmy up to his new friend Karst as he holds his action.
Ooh.
And asks Karst, charmingly, he hopes, for some healing. Karst, friend
You-
Karst.
point of order.
Yes.
You are all healed. You are fully healed with those wristbands. So you're at full health, but you are not at full abilities. Is the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is absolutely what you said. And I was like, why didn't I?
Did
Okay.
you forget, Mark?
No.
Did you forget?
Just gonna. That's for the edit.
Oh, that's right. I have temporary hit points because I shifted. I'm still in Viper mode.
Yeah. If you were raging, I will allow you to still be in rage as well.
Oh yes. Excellent.
I had a royal
excellent.
flush in my hand. Can I keep that?
Yeah, you get a D100 of inspiration. No, fuck you.
In that case, Drake is going to, ignore his crush your interview advice and just gonna, throw out some attacks. Throw out some attacks.
Get him.
Some exploratory. Let's figure some shit out attacks here.
For reference, she is, I believe we said, with these circles, she would be 30 feet away from everyone. So she's just kind of in the middle of this field. You can obviously get there with your movement.
Oh boy.
I think
I'm gonna do
there,
it.
I'm imagining there's a flashback to Drake's like How to Crush Your Interview book, and then when he makes the decision to attack, we go back to the flashback, and there was like a piece of paper covering one side, and it said interviewer instead of interview. How to Crush Your Interviewer.
Yeah, exactly. The last rule is don't follow the rules.
Oh my god.
And he's gonna charge up. Coming in. Like, looks like he's coming in for a high attack, but he's going for those legs, those chunky, ungulate. Is that what they're called?
Beef
Poofy.
thighs.
And it is a natty 16 for a 22 to hit with the X. And a dirty 20 for the long sword, and it's gonna be 9 points of damage with the axe, and 12 points of damage with the long sword as he kind of comes around and brings the sword up over his shoulder as he brings both of those weapons crashing towards her left knee.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You swing for what to most people would probably kill them. And you hit her and she does not fucking budge. And she just turns to look down at you and says, "Good effort." And then brings this hammer down on you with supreme force, using a legendary action. So that is a 17 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, not great damage though. That is 11 points of oh wait, hold on, I gotta re-roll that. My bad. No, that is 15 points of damage.
Great weapon master.
Yeah. Oh, great
Weapon fighting.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Okie dokie. Octavia.
I am going to. I'm just gonna Eldritch Blaster. I was thinking about using Dissonant Whispers, but then I just realized she might not be overly intimidated by me. So I'm gonna just cast a sickening plague-looking green gross blast right in her hot face.
Green Gross Blast is such a good band name. I can't even stress it enough.
It was my favorite.
So
it was
good.
my favorite gusher flavor.
It does sound like a 90s flavor.
Yeah. Like ectoplasm.
Yes.
All right, Chonker Dice. Let's see how you treat me.
Chonker
Ooh,
dice.
all right, that is a 16 to hit.
No. It
Oh
just kind
no.
of fizzles out against her armor.
Ugh, all
and
right.
She sort of turns to you and says, "Aim for the chinks in my armor."
Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
And she
Then
nods at
the-
you very respectfully.
Oh,
Well, I
love
tried.
her.
I am going to look at Dashi. Well, I don't think you're gonna be able to play cards with this one, so do your best. And there's a bardic inspiration for you.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. A Gale.
Gale is this whole time. Gale has been trying to like stretch and so he can spring into action, and he's going to run straight at our Minotaur target. But he's going to run and jump like up, drag, so that he can come down on top of the Minotaur with
Yeah.
one of those jumping punches.
Give me an acrobatics check, and Drake, if you want to use your reaction to grant advantage to that check, I will allow it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, you have acrobatics check at advantage to the DC 20.
Excellent.
Because this is
Gale
this
is
is a-
surprisingly light.
I don't, hollow bones or whatever. Is that the next thing?
That's
That's a
springy
bird.
bones.
That's a bird
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting
as you
snakes,
step on my
birds,
shoulder,
cats,
I
all
just
mixed up.
shove it
Yep.
up in the air.
All right, with the advantage, I rolled a 19. So that's a total of 25.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make an attack at advantage.
All right.
And if you hit, I'll give you some extra sauce.
Ooh, that's a 17, and that's a 9. So we're going to go with the 17 plus 6.
Yes.
23 to hit.
Yeah, go ahead and add a d4 of damage.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mhm.
Here. So, all right. So basically, Gale just like sprints, and like you hear him like hiss a little bit as he runs right up. Drag. Not trying to do any damage to Drag at all, but he comes down with the punch for a total of, was that a 1? That's a 1 plus another d4 of, oh boy, another 1. So that's a total of 6, and then once the punch lands like square and like I'm trying to hit like the side of the nose, so
Yeah.
to like try to open up a little bit, and then the spear comes in.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that might not do it. I rolled a 6, so plus 6, so I'm gonna say 12 will not do it.
Oh, no. In fact, she's going to use her reaction to riposte. That'll hit. I'm just going to tell you up front. I'm not going to say the number.
Of course.
35. Does a 35 hit?
You know what? Yeah, fine. I'll do it. 26.
Sure.
And that
26.
is 6. Yeah. My God. Holy shit. That was a bad voice crack.
Love a
That's
Battlemaster mommy.
embarrassing.
Honestly.
Battlemaster mommy? Well, she's actually not a Battlemaster. She just has some maneuvers. She's a different
Ooh.
subclass.
Is she a cattle master?
Oh my fucking God. I'm gonna go sit and cry for a bit. That is 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my! So what did she hit me with?
Her maul, like she just like as she's swinging it towards Drake, she kind of flips it around and backhands you with it in one fluid motion. And like you clearly hurt her. Like you clearly did some damage to her, like by hitting her in the fucking face. But she looks down at you and says, "Excellent hit, nice job."
Nice. So since I'm still in snake form, I'm going to after taking that hit, just roll with it 10 feet away.
Okay, very
Nice.
cool. It is now Mara's turn. She's gonna be like, "Oh, well, this is a bit unfortunate. Oh, gee." And she sort of runs with pretty admirable dexterity. She uses no weapon. She is just a straight up bare-fisted monk. And she is just going to
How did she get those bare fists?
There it is.
because she's part bear. Did you not hear me the
Is
first
she a
time?
bear shifter? Like
Bear shifter. No, she's going to try to grapple your target here with disadvantage, unfortunately, because that's size large. But we will
Oh, is the
see.
Minotaur a large size?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100%. Well, she's large even by Minotaur standards.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I cannot grapple a large size
Holy
creature.
shit. That's wild. She actually made it. Whoa. Okay, that was unexpected. She actually manages to grapple Kala Highwatch, who looks surprised as Mara
Incredible.
essentially just wraps herself around her legs to kind of
Yeah.
just keep her in one place. And that's going to be her turn. It's now Tem. Tem is going to try to shoot. Okay, that is a natural 1. The arrow flies off, and she looks very embarrassed. It is now Dashi.
How are Drake and Gale looking? You don't give me numbers or whatever, but like how hurt are you? Do you look
This is probably the worst you've seen, Gale.
okay? And Drake is okay.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is probably the worst you've seen, Gale.
In which case, I will. Can I run over to Gale? Am I within range?
Yes, you would be within range.
Okay. I'm gonna cast a Cure Wounds on Gale. With my gauntlets of holy rhyme, my little minor relics from the Grief Domain temple. The gem glows, and you hear a whirring sound from within the gauntlets as this sort of like golden light illuminates this side of the battlefield. I run over to Gale. I'm about half his size, and I saw him just like take that tumble, run over to him, intercept the tumble, like grab him as he's like still rolling, and then release this Cure Wounds, and that's gonna be we'll just roll this on the thing. 9 heals, 9 points of healing, and then I'm gonna use the other gauntlet as a flavor thing to cast guidance as a bonus action with another Grief Domain ability on Gale as well. So you'll have a D4. This is my bonus action. A D4 to your next ability check, I believe.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, Dashi. Oh.
I got you.
Oh.
It looks nasty. I don't want to get hit by
so
that.
hard.
That was rough.
All right. Yeah.
my
You
turn.
see, Kala says, "Excellent teamwork. Nice job."
Thanks, Mom.
What? That is Karst, who sort of like sighs and then sprints up, whipping the sword back. And you see that he looks to Jillig and says, "Now, Jillig." And Jillig uses his 18 portent as Karst brings down a divine smite.
Oh yeah.
Kala.
Mm.
So, woof! My goodness, he hits like a fucking truck. Especially because Mara is currently somehow grappling Kala, and he just sort of levels the sword at her midsection, and it cracks her armor. And she like her eyes widen, and this like for the first time ever, this grin splits her face. And she says, "Very well done, excellent teamwork." And that is Karst's turn, because I mean, he's not very dexterous. He's a paladin. It is now Kala's turn, and she kind of surveys the scene, and is just going to firstly attack Mara, because she's a bit of a nuisance, and she's going to use her fighting spirit ability to get advantage on all attacks.
She's a samurai.
Yeah, baby. That's such a good fucking
It really is. I love samurai.
Okay, that definitely hits.
Good luck.
I think that's it, actually. Yeah. In one swing, she just takes them all and just kind of like, she picks her leg up essentially and just like bats Mara off of her leg, and she flies and rolls on the ground unconscious.
Oof.
And she's like, interesting. Decent approach. And she swings the hammer back around to hit Karst. Yes, for sure. Okay. He is still up. He is not looking very good, though. And it is now an attack on Drake, as Drake is still right there. Woof. That is gonna hit. That is a 25. And you are going to take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool. It is now Jillig's turn. Jillig is going to use Magic Missile because that baby don't miss. Okay. All twos across the board. So for 12 deals 12 damage by just shooting these missiles at second level. And he says, "I'm running low on spell slots. This is looking kind of ugly, to be honest." And he kind of looks around. And Drake, it is your turn.
Drake imagine his nose is probably pretty like over to one side of his face at this point. And he's got like blood streaming down from these hits, and he smiles this big bloody toothed smile as he looks up at Kala and is reminded of his mother. And he throws down his weapons and goes in for a hug. In a sense.
Mommy tar.
Yeah, he's gonna he flashes his eyes over to Gale and maybe like in a hoping for a turnaround is fair play payback. He's gonna try and get a leg up as he jumps up and attempts to do an arm bar
Nice.
on Kala. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a while back, Fedor Emelianenko was fighting the giant Japanese guy, I can't remember his name. And he basically was like arm barring the dude as he like stood there with his arm out. And Fedor is not a little guy, kind of like Drake. So yeah, I'm going for an arm bar here.
Okay. So is this, I'm assuming, to knock her prone?
No, this is just to like almost, try and make her tap out, but also to like grapple her in such a way that,
Oh, you want to? Okay, I see.
Yeah, grapple.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give me opposed athletics. She has advantage against you, but I think you also have advantage for raging.
I sure do.
So this.
And you have some DM inspo, probably?
Oh man.
Mark always has some DM inspo.
Mark probably for his fucking puns.
I haven't gotten any for the puns so far today.
Oh no, maybe
Yeah, I
you
know.
should do better. No.
Do they?
Listen,
I can't remember. Do they hold over from previous sessions?
Yes, they do. They
Okay.
hold over forever and ever and ever.
All
So
right, cool. I've got
technically,
two.
you could just stock all of these into the final session and be like, "That's a 75 to hit," and I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Don't tip me.
That's a lot of patience. I
will never be there. I will use it anytime I need it.
Okay, so you tell me what you got, and let's see.
that's a 24.
I hate to break it to you, champ. That is a 25. I'm so sorry. It's cool in principle. It's very cool in principle, and you got so close. But yeah, you essentially jump up to grab her arm to kind of, because she uses a two-handed weapon. This is actually a very good idea, but big Minotaur butt. It just doesn't land. She manages to yank her arm away. But she gives you a very appraising look, as you are just kind of covered in blood, and look a little unhinged. And she says, "Excellent. A tactical advantage is always needed. And I personally am going to give you a D4 of inspiration. If she could give you inspiration, she would.
Oh.
But I'm going to give you a D4 of inspiration for that, because that's a very tactically sound move, which is what she's looking for here. And it is now Octavia's turn.
Okay. All right. I'm going to attempt her advice, and I'm going to aim my Eldritch Blast again. Actually, you know what? never mind. I'm gonna look at her and I'm just gonna stare at her for a second, and she's gonna start hearing these uncomfortable and unsettling like voices in her head. And then she's gonna hear my voice a little bit more clearly as I say, well, what if this is your weak spot? And I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Holy shit. Yeah. 100%. That's wisdom?
Yes.
Okay. She's gonna use Indomitable.
Gosh.
Okay. That is a 17?
Yep, that makes it.
Okay. She sort of shakes her head, but looks at you after you missed the first time. She looks at you with kind of this newfound respect. She obviously respects all of you, but she, with this kind of like,
She still takes some damage. She takes
Good.
half. So, that rolled pretty well. 2, 6, 2. So 14. She takes 7 psychic damage.
Okay. Yeah, you see blood kind of drip out of one of her ears. And she kind of like wipes it back and nods at you very kind of affirmingly. As she seems to be taking all of this just battering in stride. Drake, you're definitely close enough for this. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 12.
Yeah, that it was. You notice that though she is covered in fur, as she is essentially a cow person, underneath it there are. It looks like there's more scar tissue than unscarred tissue, as it were. This is a woman who has seen her fair share of fights. And well, I also need other passive perceptions from everyone else.
16.
16?
14.
14?
13.
Okay, so Dashi, you notice Drake's hand is pumping this black ichor. Even more so than it was on the first fight. It looks like as he's kind of getting lost in this battle.
In the sauce.
He's getting lost in that sauce, baby.
The sauce
bean
is getting
sauce.
lost in me.
Perhaps.
If anyone has
we
ever had
shall
a
see.
jjajangmyeon in a Korean cuisine is a black bean paste on your noodles, I'm imagining this like thick black paste like jjajangmyeon.
I do not have a reference for that, unfortunately.
It's tasty.
But I should,
if you get the chance.
I should eat more Korean food. I think I gotta catch
It's
up with that.
one of the best in the world for sure.
I'm a big sandwich guy, so I mean that's my weakness as.
Oh, so you
American.
go for the banh mi's. Head over to Vietnam and grab a banh mi. You know,
Ooh, yeah.
That I haven't mean to try.
I love a banh mi. Oh,
Banh
you haven't
mi's
had
are
you
dope.
like sandwiches and you haven't had a banh mi?
I know
gotta get a banh mi.
it's sinful.
They're so good. Anyway,
If you like sandwiches so much, name 5 sandwiches.
You got a Reuben, you got a Cuban, you got a pimento cheese sandwich, you got a ham and cheese sandwich, and you got a steak and egg sandwich. Boom.
Grilled
5
cheese.
sandwiches. Grilled
Steak and
cheese.
egg is a made-up sandwich.
Hot dogs.
Burger. What's a made up sandwich?
Steak and egg?
Yeah, it's
That's
a
not
sandwich. What are you
real.
talking about?
Yeah, you get a steak and egg breakfast
It's a fucking
sandwich.
staple.
It was invented by Bill Steak and Egg.
Oh.
Yeah, you ever heard of Bill Steak and Egg?
Also,
Anyways.
Sam, steak and eggs.
Sam lives out in the Midwest, and who knows what they do out there.
Yeah, we got just some crazy shenanigans out here
You
in
have
the
a
Midwest.
cracker and
There's-
mayo sandwich? We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a-
Oh, gee. Oh, gonna squeeze right past you to grab the ranch. Speaking of sandwiches, Kala is kind of sandwiched between 2 beefy gentlemen, those being Drake and Karst, and she's going to use a legendary action to try to hit Karst. Because he's not doing so hot. Yes. Yeah, that's curtains, as Karst is thrown by the force of... this thing could be used as an anchor for a trebuchet. It's so large, as he is thrown into one of the pillars. Just kind of slumps against it. And you hear Kala kind of tisk a little bit as she turns her sole attention to Drake. And it is now Gale's turn.
All right. Gale's going to like just push right off from where he is with Dashi, doing his best not to kick up any dust at Dashi. So
I got a mask on. It's fine.
all right,
Yeah, that's
okay, yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna burn it up like Sonic, and he's just gonna just run straight at it.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. So he's going to slide around Drag, and when he does, he just kind of like taps Drag's shoulder, and says, "Make it count." And when he goes in, Gale slides by and raises his spear in a way that is specifically made to get Kala's attention. I'm going to use the superior die for goading attack and give her disadvantage on anyone but me. And
is that wisdom?
That would be a wisdom save of 14. And I'm just going to slide to try to make sure that Dreg has the advantage in flanking.
Sure.
All right. Did you say she made it?
She fails.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that comes with an attack. So here comes that spear.
Oh, wait, did you hit?
Let me see here. I have a 17 plus 6.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, wait.
Yep.
This is D&D. You can't just will this stuff into existence. That's my job.
Yep. So let's see. That's 1d6 plus 6. And I rolled another one. So that's 7 total. And then I'm going to bring my... Gale is going to try to kick the inside of one of her legs out to try to stretch her footing.
Yeah, sure.
Would a 21 hit?
Yes.
Oh, I'm flanking. Hang on. It's still good. Okay. And this is just the unarmed. Stop rolling ones. Okay. For a total of 5.
Okay. Yeah, you do a number to her. Okay, I'm gonna make a. You dealt 1 damage on the die.
1 on the die. Yep.
Okay. If it was a 4, I would have allowed for some spicy.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a +4 if that counts.
She is going to use her legendary reaction to attack you and says, presenting yourself as a target, so I'm baited. Interesting call. As she like 2 hands her hammer above her head. Yeah. That is 16 points of damage.
Oh, I have exactly 16.
Oh, gee.
I'm at 0. Am I out or am I staggered? I don't remember those rules.
You are out. You are unconscious. So you're not making death saves because the bands prevent you from dying in here, or at least they attempt to. Some people have gotten vicious in the past, but Kala is not going to attempt to kill you when you're down.
Since it hit me to exactly 0, Gale's kind of like blocks with both of his forearms, and like as it comes down, he like scrunches down, and then right before he passes out, he just kind of like nods to Drag, and then just falls flat.
Mara is an unconscious heap. Tem is actually going to go up next to you, Octavia, and points at Kala's ear and says, "We need to damage that point. It seems like it's definitely one of her weak spots." And she draws back her bow and aims for the ear that you have damaged.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ear piercing.
Ear piercing with the girls. That'll hit. And she deals not much damage, but still some. And she says, "If you can get me an opening in that armor, I can hit it much easier."
Oh, all right. I'll see if I can help you out.
And she nods at you with this look of determination as the turn moves to Dashi.
So I see Gale pass out. I see Dreg ready to strike, essentially. I think what I'm going to do... I have a couple options, but I have 1 spell slot left. So Dashi is thinking about what's the best thing to do in this situation. What are we trying to... What is actually our goal here? And so it's not winning, of course, because we're not going to knock her out. Or it's not like taking her out. That's not going to win us the thing. But with people being dropped left and right, I think it's the time to... This is the last move that I have that's anything significant. and I'm gonna go look at her, and you see the sort of like gauntlets begin to glow. There's actually a glow beginning to grow behind the mask that Dashi wears as well, and you hear a booming voice just say
Forfeit.
as I cast command. I know this is not one of the commands on command, but it is a one-word command.
Okay.
So it
All
is
right.
up to the DM's discretion, I think, with certain ones that are not.
What's the duration on that?
It's one turn. So like, if she forfeits for the turn, she just has to take that action on her next turn. Is
Yeah.
So, bless you. If she forfeits on her turn, then we technically win. It's a wisdom save of 14.
Okay. You know what? Let's see what this does. 14. That actually is a 14. That just makes it. I will give you a D4 of inspiration because that's wild. I'm gonna give you Gale a D4 of inspiration as well for some tactics.
Cool.
Very cool. She looks at you a little confused. It says, "Is that honestly what you went with?"
Hey, you got to think outside the box sometimes.
She sort of like kind of gives a, "Oh yeah, I guess" kind of look.
I want to paint the scene too because she's 9 feet tall and I'm almost 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I just screamed at her across the battlefield to say forfeit, clearly with magical intent. So
Yeah.
she should know, but also like, look, clearly I'm not gonna best this person in a grapple, even though I do grapple stuff. It's you take the go for the weak points, as it were.
You have discovered that a weak point is indeed her mind, I
Wisdom
suppose, as it were,
saving throw.
as Octavia has demonstrated to you, which is good thinking on your feet.
Yeah. That's all for me.
Karst is unconscious. It is now Kala's turn. Drake, you are right there. She sort of turns to you and says, "Well, it was a good effort." And that is a nat 20. And she has Great Weapon Master, so she's gonna actually be able to do some extra attacks here.
Oh, the bonus action attack.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Great weapon fighting and great weapon master.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The wombo combo. She deals a total of 25 points of damage.
Okay.
You still up?
I am still up.
Whoa. Drag the tank. She is gonna try to hit. She looks shocked, honestly, at your fucking physical result.
The dust clears and Drake is still standing there.
She looks shocked, and then she smiles again, which is a very unnerving sight to see on somebody as terrifying as this woman. And she says, "Very impressive, excellent work," and is going to use her bonus action to attack again. That is a natural 17 for her, and she deals 14 points of damage.
That'll do it.
Yeah. As you go down, but she's still grinning at Drag as you go down, and she turns, and you see she kind of reaches up and unclips something on her hammer, and the head drops to the floor with this spectral chain, and she spins it around and chucks it at Dashi as the chain just extends. Bada boom. Oh, it's a natural 5, but that is 16 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, you managed to duck out of the way, and she sort of yanks it back to hit you on the backswing.
Okay.
That is a natural 19.
Okay, that'll hit.
That'll do it. And you take 12 points of bludgeoning damage
Gotcha.
as it retracts back into the haft of this massive hammer. And it's now Jillig's turn. Jillig sort of looks around and says, this is a bit of a conundrum, and is going to try to cast, with his last second level spell slot, Hold Person.
Whoa.
And she needs to make a saving throw. Yeah, she does. As she goes rigid for a second, and then kind of breaks out of it and turns towards Jillig and says, "You should have done that earlier in battle to give your friends a bit more aid." And he sort of like puts his head down a bit and says, I understand. That is my bad." And she nods, and then as a legendary action, whips the hammer chain out at him. Yeah, that's gonna... Okay, is that... He's actually pretty tanky for a wizard because he's Hill Dwarf and got that extra health points. But that still is enough to hit him down as he just takes it on the chin, as it were, and he just ricochets across the battlefield. These guys are not as tanky as you, as it seems. But they definitely can come in clutch when it counts. And Drake, you are unconscious. You're not making any death saves. But you can hear in your unconscious mind the rapid beating of your heart, fighting against whatever this thing is in your hand. And you feel it begin to win again as your rage subsides. Octavia, you are now up. There are 5 of your friends unconscious, and 3 who are still up, those being yourself, Tem, and Dashi.
Okay. Shit. Keeping people alive is not my strong suit. I'm just gonna panic shoot an Eldritch Blast at that ear.
Yeah. Go ahead, roll to hit.
All right.
Add a d4 onto your attack.
Okay. That is a 19 to hit.
That just does it.
Okay. All right. This is not going well. All right. That is 6 force damage. Was that? No, that's a 9. Never mind. Sorry. 9 force damage.
That certainly is better. As you hit her,
50% better.
You hit her in the ear, and you see it kind of like damages her ear, and blood is now slowly like oozing from her ear as she kind of like is hitting her head to kind of like almost like to get seawater out. And she kind of turns her head to kind of face you so she can hear with the other ear, and looks at the 2 of you who've been targeting her ear and says, "Excellent. Targeting the same weak point over and over again. Very good battle strategy."
I'm gonna look at Tim and just nod and like look at my friends and look back. Help them. Finish this. And that is my bardic inspiration.
She nods thankfully and says, I'm not very good with healing, but I will see what I can do. And as she begins to sort of run over to one of your teammates, Kala says, "One thing you should be aware of. The battlefield must be controlled at all times. Keep that in mind." As she whirls the hammer and flicks it over to Tem, as she's running to go heal one of her teammates. Yeah. That'll hit. Okay, that doesn't outright knock her out. I think Tem actually is... Yeah. Tem has the second most hit points of anyone on the team.
Tanky.
Bit tanky, yeah. Ranger got those D10 hit die. But she still gets fucking oofed real bad as this hammer retracts. And as she does run over to who would be in range? I guess Jillig, as she uses Cure Wounds on Jillig, and gets him back up. That is her turn. It is now Dashi.
To me, Tadashi, this combat is pretty much settled. Like it's over in all but name, right? So
yes,
I'm gonna walk up to Mommy Tar.
Christ.
And I'm just gonna like kneel down, and I'm gonna use my channel divinity from the grief domain, which, let me pull this up. She has to make it's probably a wisdom save.
She fails.
Cool. So, on a failure, so this one's an interesting one. So if she had succeeded, all her conditions and curses on her would end. But starting at second level, you can use your channel divinity to cause a creature to recall a deep unprocessed grief. As an action, you choose one humanoid you can see within 30 feet of you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature suffers 1 level of exhaustion, as she sort of recalls an unprocessed grief in her mind. And of course, this is channel divinity, so I can only use it once per short rest. But she's gonna have to think about something she's maybe been not thinking about in lately.
Yeah, holy shit, that's cool. You kneel before her and your gauntlets kind of glow a bit. And you see her eyes kind of widen as she staggers, and like looks around and says, "No, not now, not now."
And she can hear me just whispering just between the two of us, saying, I'm just repeating, whispering, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay," as she processes this.
She kneels with her hammer and says, "The test is over. You all did very well." And she enables something on her belt as you are all brought back to full hit points. And she says, "I will confirm with you your placements in 15 minutes." And she rushes out hurriedly from the room.
I stand up and sort of like, I know she'll be okay. She's tough, and it's not like I'm not trying to like damage her. This is actually like, this is sort of one of the rituals we do to help people heal. You know, like you have to face grief to heal, and so it's a bit of a tough love kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I think I stand up. I walk over to I guess either Gale or Drake, whoever's closest to me, because they were both knocked out, but now they're back to full, right? So I want to help one of them up.
Yeah, it'd be Drag.
Okay, so yeah, I'll walk over to Drag, kind of offer my head as like a way to just sort of like helping him. You know, he's probably on one knee, and then use one hand to push off of my head, I imagine, that sort of thing.
I'll walk over to help Gale, kind of wrap my hand around their forearm and yank him up.
Yeah, Gale's already back to his regular form, so he just like grabs his jaw plate and snaps it back into place.
That never becomes less disturbing.
I don't know. I'm coming around to it.
It's just this little black liner. It just coats his chin.
You see that the other team is picking themselves up. You see Karst offers a hand to you, Drake, and says, You have a little something here," and he points to like your mouth where you've been bleeding actively for the past couple minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. And Drake will snap his nose back into place. Gale snaps his mouth plate back on. Drake moves his nose back to the middle of his face, spits some blood on the ground, and says, what are we doing after?
I believe we were promised drinks.
Oh.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Karst, are you ready to party? Are you partying with Karst?
I typically am not the partying sort, but perhaps I can let loose for one night.
Hell yeah.
Amar says, "Oh, you're getting this fella all riled up. Oh, gee.
Party Karst!
That's gonna be a whole heckin' spectacle. One thing, folks, we do have comprehension tests right after this, so we do gotta kind of, keep our minds a bit limber, so but I think those aren't as important as this one. I don't think for action branch, and I think I think we'll be okay." And she kind of turns to look at you, Dashi, and her eyes kind of narrow, not in like a fearful way, but like a "you son of a bitch" kind of way.
And this is Mara, you said?
Mara, and she's like,
yeah, we had some good interactions. So
Yeah,
this is friendly.
yeah, she's like, "You grief clerics and your and she kind of like taps her forehead.
Yeah, we like to wrestle a little bit, but when we can't wrestle, then we we bring out the big guns and I wink.
Octavia, Tem comes up to you and says, honestly, I'm surprised we both made it through that standing.
I'm not.
Oh, Well, you did a good job.
You did too. That's some impressive shooting.
She blushes furiously. And she's a tiefling with this very kind of deep red skin. But you could clearly tell. And she says, "Thank you. You hit your mark quite often as well." And she kind of smirks a bit as Jill gets up and says, "If we are having drinks, I think we should definitely go somewhere where we are unlikely to get poisoned." Mara says, "Oh, gee, come on. We're not gonna get poisoned. It's all good."
Hey, Jillick, don't you can't you see the future? If we're gonna get poisoned at these places, you could just check it, right?
Technically, I've expended my portent for the day, so
Take a nap.
that is not how it works. But
Okay, do you have detect poison?
I do, yes. But I
Yeah.
would rather go somewhere where I do not have to waste 10 or should I say 11 minutes of my time detecting poison. And Mara says, "Oh, come on, chill out. We're all gonna go get a drink, be good friends, get nice and merry. I know how you get when you're a little, tipsy. So, we'll see how that goes." And he kind of sighs and says, "All right, fine." And after a few more minutes, Kala comes back in, clearly shaken. And she kind of takes a deep breath and says, "You all did excellent. I am very happy to announce that you all will be moving on to the next stage of testing, that being comprehension. One thing I will suggest, while you are fighting a singular entity such as myself, teamwork is necessary. You were doing very good at first. One thing I will say, if you have ways to stop your enemy from moving or to keep them immobile, that is key. Because then you can essentially dogpile with the rest of your attacks." And she looks pointedly at Jellig, and he says, I know, I was, that was a foolish attempt, and I am sorry. Do not be sorry, be better." And she nods at him, and she sort of looks at the rest of you and says, "Now, you will go to the comprehension tests. They will test you in your various knowledge of history, math, key weaving, arcana, and then there is a final test. Are you prepared?"
Do we have time to prepare? Is that a thing that we get to do, or is this like a rhetorical question?
It is a rhetorical question.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
As she leads you all out of the arena and down the hallway, all the way through the middle. You guys are caked in blood. People are looking at you, all covered in blood, and are all kind of pointing, just kind of understanding that you guys are going through the trials, and are giving kind of like encouraging thumbs up. And you all make it to the scribes section, where you all sit down in front of some desks, and Kala sort of taps some stuff and some basically arcane tablets, as it were. They're not tablets, but it's like these desks that have sort of projections on them. And she says, "You have 1 hour to complete these tests. This is, again, being a part of Action Branch is not necessarily based on your intelligence, more so your ability to problem solve. Thus, we have both kinds of tests. Good luck."
Ooh.
Oh, point of order. Gale leans forward and says, if you were doing actual research, we would have access to a library of sorts. Do you have any reference material we could use? This is my cloistered scholar.
Ooh.
Access, if possible.
If you have brought any books with you, that is allowed. However, I cannot allow you to start with anything you have not previously brought. Sharing of information is allowed, as this is a teamwork exercise.
Hell yeah.
Gale goes through his books because he's brought a ton.
Just drops a
Guidance.
bunch.
Guidance.
Jillig kind of cracks his knuckles and says, "Finally, something I can do." And
Let's give him a side eye.
well, he actually, without any hesitation, pulls his desk up to yours and gestures for Mara to do the same. as you guys sort of form the hub of history and stuff. As you guys start sharing notes, I need a history check from anyone who would like to make it, and we will add stuff depending on. I'm gonna say Gale is the one making this. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I got you.
Surely based on just stuff.
Yes.
And everyone else can make me one too, and that will add to his history check. So it's not help; it's like a cumulative sort of stuff. So I need.
Can I use my? I have an ability check. It's called Knowledge from a Past Life.
Oh, that's right.
And-
Reborn.
Yeah, when you make an ability check that uses a skill, you can roll a d6 immediately after seeing the number on the d20 and add the number on the d6 to the check.
Yes, you may 100% do that.
Can I give guidance to Matt's roll?
Yes, you can.
So that's a D4 for Matt.
All right, I will add that now. Hey, got a 2, so that gives me a total of 24.
Okay.
Nice.
And this history check can be either intelligence or wisdom. I will allow either.
If I'm using wisdom, I don't have proficiency in it, but I have pretty good wisdom, in which case that would be a 23.
23. Okay. Go ahead and roll a d10.
Okay.
What did you get, Chris?
If I'm using wisdom, it would be a dirty 20.
Go ahead.
That's including the d6.
Go ahead and roll me a d8.
Okay.
And
I got a 10 on the die.
10 on the die. Okay. Mark, what'd you get?
I got a 7.
7. Okay. Then we're not adding anything, unfortunately, for that. What we got in the d8?
8.
An 8?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What did you get, Matt?
My total score?
Mhm.
24.
Plus 18 is a grand total of
42.
42. Wow, look at that. Answer to life, universe, and everything.
You got the answer.
The answer, yeah. You guys kind of collaborate. That's not a word. You guys sort of collaboratively answer these history questions with Gale kind of heading it and Jillig. You guys are sort of forming this duo as you both kind of bounce information off of each other, and you guys are kind of pulling stuff, reading a bunch of books as Kala just has her arms kind of crossed. Lex, you have what? Your passive insight's like what, 20 something?
It's 16.
16?
It'll get there.
You've definitely noticed Kala is distant.
Oh yeah.
For
sure. I was gonna say something to her before she left, but I was like, you know what? Let me just let her go and deal with that. I'm gonna go and just sit next to Kala, and I'm just gonna like after I've like helped with whatever I need to help with, I'll just go sit next to her, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sit there. I think she's probably experienced enough to know what she could probably figure out what's happening.
Yeah, she pretends not to notice you for a minute, and then looks down at you and says, I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah, we get that a lot. I didn't mean, I wasn't trying to hurt you. I hope you know that.
No, you should have used everything at your disposal. That is admirable. But, could you see that?
No, all I can do is sort of bring forward the memories and unprocessed grief that you have within you. I don't get to see any of that. That's just sort of between you and the divine grief.
I see. She sort of like goes to pat you on the shoulder, but ends up patting you on the head. I kind of oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be demeaning. I didn't
It's
realize.
okay.
And she sort of kind of trails off a little bit as she's this hulking, confident woman is very kind of reeling from what you've done to her mind.
I'm gonna reach out to her arm where because it's a big beefy arm like over my head right now.
Yeah.
And I'll just like use my gauntlets which are like, I think my gauntlets are still smaller than her hands.
Yes.
And so I just put it like on her wrist area kind of while it's like near me, and I'll just cast a little guidance as whatever she's going through and processing now to give her a little help with that. And just sort of I have a mask on, so I'm not going to make eye contact with her, but I sort of turn my face towards her and nod and then go back to help the group.
Yeah. As for the history tests, a lot of it is a timeline. You have to put a bunch of events in order, and then you have to kind of note the significance of said events in today's world. Not a very exciting assignment, but it's important stuff to know for you guys.
For some.
For
It's
some.
not exciting.
Not
It's not
exciting for
exciting to
some.
me.
I'm sure
but it's exciting to Matt.
Jillig and Gale are having a fucking field day with this shit.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good. Like you notice like Gale's books have the elaborate Wyvern scribe sigil embossed on a hardcover, gilded pages, numerous ribbon bookmarks. Every page is properly outlined with beautiful calligraphy and illustrations, and you'll notice as Gale's writing his notes, it's his handwriting. He scrivened all of these.
Whoa.
Oh.
You actually, with your past perception, Gale, notice that Mara has a very similar notebook, obviously. Hers is barren of any symbols. She's clearly scratched them off. But some things, some lore. 'Cause here's if now is not the appropriate time to dump lore, I don't know when I would have a chance to. But I'll make it quick. So thus far on this world, there have been 3 historical sort of ages. The first one is the Wyvern Age, which is right after the apocalypse that happened. That sort of changed everything and made stuff wacky. It was an age dominated by dragons. This is no longer the case. Dragons are myth now. They are thought to be extinct even. But in this age, stuff like Raln, the god of death, was last documented to be alive then. People don't know where he is now. And the grief clerics were founded back then 4,123 years ago. So they've been around, I think, the longest of any of the domains. The second one is the Blood Age, which is when people were fighting for dominance across the entirety of Vidra. This is when the 2 gods, Delia, who is the goddess of emotion, rage, and determination, and the god Bimos fought to control Rillian, and Bimos eventually won and forced Delia into obscurity. And the final age is the Key Age, which is when the technology of key crystals, which is the black crystals that sort of balance all magic, was developed. And the major player in this age is Marius Augur, who is not only the person who made key weaving safe, but also the guy who founded the collective. So you have to write a bit of a biography on him. He had a pretty shitty life to start, but he's kind of a I guess pull yourself up from your bootstraps kind of success story. He was like an orphan, and he lived on the street for a while before he mastered key weaving and became like this. Like, he is a household name. He is very much he's your Albert Einstein of this world, essentially. And yeah, that you guys make a timeline. You turn over to Kala. She looks it over and compares it with some notes and nods and says, "Good. I need everyone but Gale to leave this room."
Ooh. Done.
Form a line outside. And as Gale, you were the last one left in the room, she sort of sits cross-legged on the floor and gestures for you to do the same. And once you do, she says, "I have one final question for you.
All right.
What is suffering?"
Suffering is the counterpoint of joy, and in life, it helps to motivate us to try to elevate our status and also protect those around us if we have the empathy needed to protect other people. As a Wyvern Scribe, this is something I have put a lot of thought into.
I would assume so, yes. I will tell you now, when you join this organization, there will be no shortage of suffering. But, as you have proven today, you are well equipped to handle it. And she reaches out a hand.
and I will meet it.
Yeah, you do like a predator-style handshake, and she
Oh, yeah.
sort of and she says, "Welcome to the collective," and she says, "Send the next person in."
Thank you. And he nods and steps out and taps Drag.
Yeah, you guys are gonna just all go first, and then Team Rook is gonna go next. And she also told you not to tell anyone what happened in here. Drake, you are brought in, and you see Kala is sitting cross-legged, and she sort of gestures in front of her for you to do the same.
Drake walks over, sits down, still just very, very bloody faced.
Yeah.
Smiles again. Pink teeth.
Jesus. She says, "I have a final question. What is suffering?"
What is suffering? Suffering is a choice when you suffer evil to flaunt itself, when you suffer injustice to be perpetrated on those who can't defend themselves, when you suffer anything that might cause suffering, I suppose.
Interesting. She reaches her hand out. "Welcome to the collective."
Thank you.
And we repeat the cycle, and I'm gonna say Octavia is now up. You are sitting cross-legged across from her, and she asks the same question.
It's a deep pain that consumes some part of you, whether it's a physical aspect or an emotional aspect. It's not quick. It's not easily solved or dealt with. It eats at you, at least for a while, if not indefinitely. It's hardly temporary.
I have a follow-up question. Are you suffering currently?
I don't think so.
Good. Good. And she reaches out a hand. "Welcome to the collective."
Shake it. And go to think on that last question for a little.
Yeah. And finally, Dashi, you are sitting cross-legged, directly across from Kala, and she sort of looks at you with this kind of piercing gaze, like trying to just look behind your mask and discern who you are, because she is very intrigued by you now that you've adequately fucked with her mind. And she says, "Tell me, grief cleric, what is suffering?"
Are you asking because it's part of the test, or because you yourself want to know?
Every time we get new recruits, I get a different answer. It is simply adding to my understanding of pain.
What is your understanding of pain?
Very small.
Physical pain is small, or also other kinds of pain?
All pain leaves a scar. Whether or not it's physical, it all remains, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds. And we simply have to match it.
Suffering, then, is a test of strength to you?
Everything is a test of strength.
Sounds like a exhausting way to live.
It is the only way to live when you are trying to protect people all the time.
Okay.
Then again, I don't remember saying you were the interviewer, and she kind of smirks.
You're gonna have to get used to that, I think. To me, suffering is just just another name for grief. Suffering is a type of grief that usually is inescapable, because if you were able to escape it, you would, of course, seek to stop suffering yourself. But clearly, suffering traps you. You are stuck, and the causes of that suffering, the causes of that grief, must be removed in order for the suffering person to heal.
Interesting. Welcome to the collective, Dashi. And she puts out her hand.
I give a little grin behind the mask and shake her hand. Thank you.
And as you walk out, the four of you are now members of the collective.